Super Earth, our home. Prosperity. Liberty.
Hi there.
Democracy. Our way of life.
Oh, hello.
But freedom doesn't come free.
No! Sweet liberty! No!
Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free.
Join the Helldivers.
Become part of an elite peacekeeping force!
See exotic new life forms. And spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy. Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a Helldiver.
Good morning, Super Earth. All right, here we are. What's been going on? What's this dissonance BS?
The struggle for managed democracy continues. We have no time to waste.
War. Hold the line, hold the line, hold the line, hold the line. And we gotta do this and do that. And continue all this stuff. Liberate more planets than are lost during the order duration. We got 2 more days. Well... There's 56,000 people active. At 12:30 in the afternoon, Central Standard Time in the middle of the United States. 56,000 people. Currently on Twitch, when I checked, we have 87 channels streaming Helldivers 2, with 574 people watching. That means there's 0.15 people per channel. Now, this being a semi-stoic stream, I cannot control any of that, but you have to look at the data. About what is going on. And you have to make your choices.
Select an operation, Helldiver.
About how stuff is going. sure. Might as well.
Initiating FTL jump to the Ein system.
Yeah, so what's the point? I think that's just kind of what I touched upon last stream.
Mission coordinates locked.
And it could be I'm a little depressed and in my head, and I'm assenting to things I shouldn't, or I've already assented, and that's just my subconsciously. Anywho, it's just tough. Holidays, get your mind around it. We got the reading today from Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, Book 10, paragraph 12b. Open quote. The person who follows reason in all things will have both leisure and a readiness to act. They are at once both cheerful and self-composed. End quotes. A person who follows reason in all things will have both leisure and readiness to act. Yeah, if you're following reason and rationality, you kind of know the difference of when to make those choices for leisure. And you would be ready to act pretty much in any situation just because you're not predisposed to henny penny syndrome, running around with your head cut off, just emotionally reacting to stuff. It's kind of like, the rule is in every major religion. I hate to take it to a religious level, but you know, the golden rule: do unto others. But that's kind of the rational reasoning behind the universe and the galaxy, or the cosmopolis, in a Stoic word, at large. It's the reason behind how things work. So if you follow that reason, logically, things should work for you, right? It's all just on your choices. But yeah, the Greeks called that a logos, which is kind of the controlling rationale behind reality. That's kind of one of the major pinnings of Stoicism, is that we are all part of a cosmopolis. So one big living entity that makes up the universe and all the planes of reality. We are like blood cells.
Repeat. Helldivers to Hellpods.
So we're all part of it. If we can just get over ourselves, or the colors that we see, or how much money we have, or the roles that we provide, or what we have dangling or not dangling between our legs. Like, there's so many just little things that people get so freaking caught up on. So many things that people get used to, and if that changes, then it becomes the destruction of their world. However, I would like to posit, if you made your world that fragile, what else did you expect at some point? But yeah, that is what it is. Let's go ahead and jump. This is going to be a short stream. I just wanted to get that out. It's kind of like I'm giving it the good old college try today. As even as the Stoic stuff that I spit on stream. And like everyone who will tell you, it's like everything else in life, man. Like everything is easier said than done. So it's just one of those things. Holidays. Holidays are good for some people and horrible for others, and rather blasé for the third set. I think you run the gamut of everything going around. I find myself lately having a hard time with the holidays. And it's because of Flux. And my expectations. And my choices to a certain extent. But I can only control myself. That's the rub. And
Let our enemies choke upon their territorial ambitions.
while my happiness and expectations aren't necessarily focused upon one person or one situation, you have to take into account that other people are in this planet. And you cannot control anybody, you can only control yourself. So therefore, this is why you need to let some things go, because it's out of your control. As much as I would like to have things go kind of a certain way, I can't guarantee that. So herein lies kind of the easier said than done stuff with stoicism. So what do you do at that point? You know? You'd wish it could be that easy, right? Like what I did just there, like, you know, something like I could just impact that. Like, yeah, I could just shoot all my fucking relatives. Time for the laser show. And I don't want to get too... It's not really depressing. This is just the reality of my reality, I suppose. And that's why I get a little depressed. This is just the fact that I have a very small family. It's my mom and my dad. And then I have an uncle and an aunt. And that's it. That's the extent of all of us. I get to see my parents 3 days out of the year, maybe 4 days. I've been trying to increase that just because they are getting on in years. Obviously, I'm 53, so they're mid 70s. So I'm a good son. I have no idea how old my mother is. But yeah, I'm not happy with that. Yeah, I'm just not happy with that. And of course, I'll just ramble on to myself. I guess that's probably the only thing I can freaking do right now anyway. Who knows? Counsel myself into all this stuff. But yeah, I'm just not happy with that. So that's up to my choices to facilitate what I want to change. Because it's going to change regardless. That's the one thing about... That's the one consistency about change, is that it will always change. And coming from me... And especially being a chef, like, you work so hard to combat chaos. In your kitchen, in your line. what have you. I think it's the same thing in my current job as a custodian. We're always cleaning and setting things up to prevent chaos. Does it work? No. And kids pretty much are chaos. I mean, incarnate. And most of the stuff, granted, at that job, I don't let bug me too much. Well, I guess it's some of the consistent issues, the things that don't change, that really kind of wind me up more than anything else, especially because I'm taking steps to try and mitigate some of those changes as much as I can through either premeditation of stuff just not going the way I want, or actively setting up processes or making signs or, like, you know, what have you. You little to try and help people with that, to try and help myself too. Oh shit. So yeah, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer with a bunch of stuff. Things just kind of are. I guess it just helps. My mental space just being able to verbalize it, I suppose. I don't I don't feel comfortable talking to my wife about it. I'm kind of estranged from my friends for almost the same reason. This is a lesson with stoicism that I probably still need to learn. However, I don't feel that this is all on me. That's bullshit.
Deploying equipment package. Last reload.
And I don't want to start anything with fellow Stoics or fellow philosophers. I mean, just with all this stuff, but I think it just kind of boils down to stuff with the truth. Piss off. Nobody wants to get to the bottom of it, and as Stoics, I think it's beholden to us to speak clearly, admit mistakes, and put those corrections out there.
Reloading.
So yeah, I guess that's my fault. I get a little. I don't want to say waxing poetic about the holidays because I'm not rhyming a damn thing. It just kind of seems like more than I'm bitching, and I don't really intend to. I'm just trying to
Squid outpost
put
spotted.
the stuff out there to the logos so I can understand it. And if I hear myself say it, sometimes it helps me work through it a little better. Kind of as my own therapist. Might be a good way to think of it. Like journaling. Of course, it all goes on here to a bunch of random humans to, you know, who the hell knows? But there's so many things I can hear myself in the back of my head that I could easily just become a victim and let this stuff carry me away. That's one of the that's one of the good analogies from Stoicism. Of just being a cart. You know? Life. Oh, fuck. You're tied to this cart.
Orbital barrage incoming. Stand clear.
And you got your choice in life. You can get ahead of the cart. And guess what? The cart's gonna run you fucking over.
ETA T-minus 1 minute.
You can resist the cart. You can resist what's going on and fight against it. And guess what? The cart's just gonna drag you. It's life. And life is gonna continue whether you're in it or not. So, guess what, Buttercup?
ETA T-minus 30 seconds.
There's only one way out.
ETA T-minus 20 seconds.
Nobody's getting out of here alive. Hate to tell ya.
ETA T-minus 10 seconds. This is Pelican 1. I have visual on the
We're all
extraction
dying.
zone.
That's what all of us are going towards. So that's, I think, where most of the mentality of the Stoics comes from, with the forgiveness and compassion, is that we're all going to the same place. We shouldn't be calling each other fascists and racists and all this other stuff. We should have compassion and spend time with those who are our loved ones. But again, that kind of goes into the personal issue that I'm having with
Extraction
those
complete.
around.
Pelican 1 beginning ascent. Victory was never in doubt.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to again. I'm just trying to reflect and see. if I'm not being stoic with it or not, because I can see paths and choices that I can make and how to. I can't even say it would fix it, on how to take steps that might fix the situation. However, I can compare that with stuff that I've done in the past that hasn't worked. So I think that's the question I would pose to some of the Stoics is, what do you do? What do you do when you follow Marcus 2.1 and you know you're going to run up against difficult and resistance people? So you try to do your best to show, not pity, to show compassion, and somehow try to subtly educate those around you in this philosophy and this mindset, so it would help them do unto others as you're doing unto them. But you're not proselytizing. You're not being an evangelist. You know, you let some sayings, some quotes sit through, but you know, at a certain point, you're just beating your head against a wall. And as unstoic as it is to say this, I feel like I just have a gut reaction that that's not right after a certain point. And I don't want to say it's giving up. I just think sometimes you have to recognize not only your own limitations, but the limitations of others. And if you get to a point, I think you should be allowed to put that can of goods back upon the shelf. If you can't use it and it's not going to work for you, why would you take it? Leave it there. Maybe someone else will have success with it and not you. Maybe you can come back at a later time when you actually do need it and it needs you. I guess the stoic thing would be, as long as you've made the attempt and communicated, now I have to reflect and see if I've done that to the best of my ability, and I would actually probably have to say no. But again, we're our own worst critics too, so even if I reflect on that, am I being too hard on myself? And I can't answer that. I can relay the stories. I can babble on here where I'll get no feedback. Even though just getting it out
Must submit weekly urine sample by 04.
works a little bit. I could put it in my journal, but I'd never stop writing. I could go back to therapy, but my therapy ended because the therapist pretty much said, the folks that I'm inferring to around me need to get therapy. I'm as far as I can go with those around me. So how shitty is that? How shitty is that? To have that reasoning that leads you to the alleged mentality that you have reached the pinnacle of your progress because those around you are impacting on that. I wanted to say holding you back, but I don't think that's the case, because we can't control others. So they wouldn't be holding me back. I would be holding myself back for them subconsciously without knowing it. Yeah.
Priority alert. The Elysian Meadows system.
What? The Elysian Meadow system. What? Wait. What? Maybe we don't want to liberate Foye Bay. A foyer? A foyer?
Every moment we ruminate, another family is torn limb from limb. We must strike.
$58,000. Hey, all right. I don't know what the active channels are at the moment, but we'll just go with the regular 87 divided by 58,944 equals no. Oh, those are active. That's active in the game. God, wouldn't that be great? If all the active Helldivers right now were equally watching all 87 channels, all of us would have 677 viewers. But anyway, I just hopped on to give you guys you guys, that's funny. I just hopped on just to do some stoicism because I feel obligated that since I've started this, not to quit. Yeah, but I just need to go. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for listening.